since. And what is still happening is this paragraph. Consideration must be given to the possibility of regrouping the marsh villages on dry land, which is easy to control, and opening roads and points of access into the heart of the marshes.
The marshes of southern Iraq are an enchanted country, wrote Freya Stark, unlike anything else in the world. The marsh Arabs and their ancestors have fished, harvested the reed beds and tended their water buffalo since the dawn of history. These pictures were taken in the 1970s when their world was still intact. As we're all taught at school, the Bible story of the Garden of Eden originated here, and the marsh Arabs' culture can be traced back 5,000 years. Wilfred Thesiger lived here 40 years ago.
It was a curious sort of life because you had to live in a canoe, and there'd be one house here, the other house just 4 yards away there. You couldn't get to it because there would be 4 or 5 foot of water between you. You had to step in a canoe and go over, and you travelled everywhere and lived everywhere in a canoe. They were buffalo people. I mean, buffaloes meant to them what the camels meant to the Bedouin in Arabia. You usually found 4 or 5 buffaloes standing outside the house in the evening. And they used to go off in the morning, cut reeds and bring them back for a bit on the canoes to feed those insatiable buffaloes. They did a lot of fishing. They speared the fish. No gentleman caught a fish in the net, you see. And the people who were fishermen went round with these spears like that. You got these tremendous reed beds which went up 20 feet. And out of them they made these enormous great mazifs, guest houses, which when you went in them were very, very beautiful. It was an Arab culture, and their values were the values of the desert. Here in the marshes they were very friendly, and their loyalty to each other and their endurance and things, and their whole attitude to life was that of the Bedouin. It was as hard a life as any human beings could live when I was with them there. But the thing was, it's freedom. We've got freedom.
After the crushing of the uprisings in 1991, Ali Hassan al-Majid put the plan for the marshes into action. Burning, shelling, deporting the people, poisoning the water, everything they said they would do, they did. Soon the marsh lakes and streams were choked with putrefying fish in a deliberately engineered environmental disaster. As in the Intifada, there were no TV cameras to record what happened. But from the summer of 1992, smuggled amateur video footage started to reach the outside world. It records the torment of 250,000 people, the burning of their reed beds, the destruction of their villages, and the death of the animals on which their way of life depended. Al-Agha was a village which Wilfred Thesiger knew well. On the 20th of May last year, helicopters rocketed a wedding here, killing and wounding many people. Through mid-July there were napalm, artillery and firebomb attacks. By February this year, Al-Agha's 800 families had gone. They left behind a simple black flag with the words, "Redeemer, save us." Captured maps revealed the full scale of the plan to drain the marshes. Massive dikes were to divert the water from the central marshes into a huge canal, the main drain, 30 miles long. The great freshwater lakes began to shrink in size as the Euphrates itself was dammed below Nasiriyah. The smuggled videotapes now showed vast tracts of the marshes drying out, the reed beds dying. The Iraqi government told the UN this was all part of an agricultural improvement scheme.
I always argue that it is for the most noble purposes that they want to win agricultural land, but there's not the slightest indication that they're working on such a program. Every indication points in the same direction. They do this purely for military purposes. They want to subdue these people.
As the shelling intensified, the people fled to where they could still find running water. The imposition by the Allies of a no-fly zone in the south in August 1992 did not save them.
الله يساعدك اختي. ليش شارده هنا؟
شارده ولينا من صدام. اليوم ثالث شهد عاد. لا ضلت عندنا جهال، لا ضلت عندنا عوايل، لا ضلت عندنا حال، لا ضلت عندنا كل شيء ما ضل عندنا. وين راحوا الزينين يلحقونا؟ وين راحت الدول؟ وين راحت البيئة النشوامة؟ تلحقونا من صدام. خل متكسفين. الشمس تدق علينا، صارنا مذهبة بالشمس. هذا ظلم صدام بينا، هذا بعد شي خلى على حالنا حال، ما مخلى على حالنا حال.
Between May and July of 1993, the last smuggled videotapes came out of the deep marshes, which were now nearly dry. Final desperate messages from a people who have never had the chance to be heard. On placards set up for the camera, the people, still trapped inside, asked simply for life and water. For water had been life itself to the marsh Arabs.
اعتباد فكوا 600 دينار. نعم. واحنا داخلين عند الله واكبر. اشكرك حبيبي. بس الماء يريد. نعم. الماء اصل فوق من اهتدوا وما مر علينا. نعم. وهالخرب الماء. نعم. هذا والرحم عتام. يدون قالوا لنا بس الماء. والقصب والله ما تلمي كان. اعتبر بالسدود. نعم. قاعدين عليه. نعم.
نشرب خيط وهاجرنا وشبعنا ضيف وشبعنا خزي. ترضين ترضون المذلة زي ما لا ترضون المذلة. ما نرضى حتى اليوم يومكم. ما نرضى. حنا نبعنا الذهاب الجيش مهاجرين. نعم.
نعم حجي. تردين من الناس تسوي حجي.
I don't dare to predict how many human lives will be sacrificed, but it must be very many indeed. And world opinion tends to forget the drama which is taking place in the southern marshes and has taken place before in other parts of Iraq. I maintain that this is one of the most serious cases of massive violation of human rights we have seen since the Second World War.
قرينا والله يما كله صبرنا عليه. صبرنا على المدفعية، صبرنا على الطيارات الحربية، صبرنا على كل شيء، صبرنا على الجوع، صبرنا على الشمس وتعذبنا وبيوتنا احترقت وما ضل عندنا شيء. هذا 10 يوم لا وخلالنا راح والنهار هذا علينا سوالف وموتانا من الأقل. الحرب يجلب نشرب بالجراثيم بالدود وبالواحد أمه ومثل المريع.